I think we are live. If we are, just let me know quickly in the chat box. I think it should be instantly on the screen the moment that we are. But I'm going to give it just a little second as I am again using a different method to stream this. Because today we'll have, again, my analyst in. We will have some very, very interesting discussions. And so we're using a different stream method. But yeah. I see Stevie is in. What's up, Stevie? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Riding with the beat saying, give us that hopium. And look at that. All right, we got the boys in. We got the boys in. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. So, all right. Long story short, a lot of people are probably wondering this. What's going on with the market? Because, interestingly enough, some of you may not call this a beautiful day, but I do. All right? But I do want to quickly warn y'all that just because there's a good day, don't mean we're back in the green. But we'll discuss that as the market continues, or sorry, as the live stream continues on here. Again, I will also get you guys with my main analyst in here, who has some very, very interesting charts to share, and is going to give a very interesting opinion about what he thinks is going to happen to the market next. We'll talk about that a bit later as we cover the news first, and then move over into prices and what we think. Because in terms of news, there's going to be a lot of this right now. What am I talking about? These type of posts. That was the bottom. You will never see these crypto prices again. I hope you load it up, because for the next quarters, we're going to go crazy. And he makes a joke out of it because he says, next up for Q5 is all-time highs. Of course, obviously joking, as what is Q5, right? But I want to also make you guys remember that what we're seeing right now is a Sunday. And what is interesting about a Sunday, y'all might know, may not know. Let me quickly pull it up here because I remember keeping the tweet somewhere. Apparently, let me quickly do it like this. Apparently, Sunday has been the best performing day for Bitcoin over the last 3 months. So a good question now becomes, are you ready for a Sunday pump? Well, it came, right? The Sunday pump came in. It's hot. However, I'm not so sure what the data is, but there's a good chance that Monday is actually, no, it's Tuesday. That's kind of like bad. Sunday tends to be really, really good. Weekdays tend to be really, really bad. And this is a weekend, maybe? Weekend, weekday. I'm guessing that's what they're talking about here. Because again, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and actually Saturday are all quite bad, with Wednesday being okay and Sunday being amazing. So theoretically speaking, this was to be expected, but I don't know if we can attribute that much to this to this little pump. Anyway, there was another interesting thing, guys. Just a quick check. Can you hear this when I post? Can you guys hear that when I play the video? I think y'all can. I just want to quickly make sure you can you guys can hear it. So if you're in the chat watching this right now, just quickly comment whether or not you can hear whenever I play this little. No, right? All right, give me a quick little second. Then I need to do this, and all right, let me try again. Oh, okay, because I need to do it through a different method, but it's not hard. It's not hard. Don't worry about it. I just find the screen. Here we go.
The world capital of artificial.
Now you can hear, right? I presume, I'm quite sure now you can. Yeah, all good. All right. So let's quickly play this. Let's give it a little. It's only 10 seconds, but still, it was kind of interesting.
And services, it'll make the United States a manufacturing superpower and the world capital of artificial intelligence and crypto. My administration.
So what Trump just basically said is not really relevant, right? Because David now also said it right here in the chat. Brother, Trump is saying that for the last 300 days. Crypto community is so low. I'm not sure exactly what he means with that. But President Trump says the United States will be the world capital of crypto. You can't be bearish on Bitcoin. I very much disagree with the fact you can't be bearish. But I will remind you of one more thing. You know how embarrassing it would be if crypto were to go to zero in front of his eyes, especially when it's the majority of his net worth right now coming from this entire area. And it just makes too much sense, in my opinion, for them to just, really take this as far as they can take it. And I think that if push comes to shove, which potentially could get here. Wait a minute. There's a new button to share up my sound for the future. Okay, so there we go. Should be okay. Allow. Okay. All right, now I think even with this method,
and services,
you guys should be able to hear everything. All right, good, good, good. Yeah, so again, it would be such a freaking shame if we were to go to zero when they can make so much money off of this, and they probably will, because why not? However, let's just quickly continue on with the story, because there's a lot going on, right? There's quite a lot going on. Now, first of all, I made a video a few months ago talking about the crypto crash. You know that yesterday also I made a video basically saying that from almost any angle, the risk to reward here becomes too good to not catch. And one of my friends here, Brian, also posted about that exact thing, saying risk reward is getting good at these levels for a lot of altcoins. This thread is a great breakdown for you to save for the future. What is it referring to? Well, let's take a look. The fear and greed index just dropped to levels we last saw in April. Retail is exiting, sentiment is breaking, but this is usually when long-term capital starts paying the most attention. While the timeline says it's over, smart money is quietly positioning for the next leg into 2026. Here are some of the highest conviction narratives and tokens worth tracking. Now, I disagree with a lot of I'm going to say particularly with these tokens, as in, I don't necessarily think there's one thing out there that's better than the other at bottom territory, because literally, in my opinion, it's just throwing up a finger out there because nobody knows exactly which one is going to bounce from the bottom fast or first. What we do know, though, and there's a good point, is which of these areas, like privacy with Monero and Zcash recently, Base, ecosystem, Base as a token potentially, or Coinbase always keeps its value and does well. AI, I mean, right now it's been really, really garbage, so I can't say that that's good right now, but it could have something right there. Prediction markets obviously have been absolutely crazy. Buyback meta, I would say, is mediocre. However, again, hype, and there's actually a few other ones like Pump that did do really, really well quite recently, and thus for that region, or for that reason, perhaps when the market does recover, those are again some of the quickest ones to come up. Consumer chains, mediocre in my opinion, but hey, you get it. And here's the kicker. This is actually a good comment somebody had right there. This is the time that DCA is built for. We never left. We've just been digging our toes in, digging deeper and deeper and deeper. In reality, if we look through any single one of these dumps previously, if you had just consistently bought that freaking dip, it would have worked out pretty beautifully for you. Just like, for example, right here, a few months ago, when Bitcoin went all the way towards about $78,000 or so, right there, you know how many people decided to give up and say it's done and then done? And I told you before, this dip right here, we didn't even really go below the moving average. You know how oversold we are right now relatively because of how far we moved down in such a short amount of time? If back then, Bitcoin also dropped all the way with the relative, below the moving average of, let's say 50% from the top, it moved less. But let's say 50% from the top would be so much, I would say it would be about similar, because moving average wise it would be, let's see how far we're down from moving average. We're down roughly 23% from moving average. That would mean that in that dip, we'd actually move down all the way towards 57,000 instead of 78,000. That would have been so freaking cheap, right? Because again, it'd be basically like a double bottom. It didn't actually get there. This is why I keep saying this is so freaking cheap. No, this little thing here does not mean this is going to happen next. I'm just saying relatively. If we look back at where we last were, or when we last were at these prices, this is, in my opinion, quite a cheap thing. And I say the same thing for XRP. Back here, when we went to $1.80, if you just were really kind of like adamant about buying that dip and not letting the opportunity slide, how beautiful it would have been. And it's always hard. Always. And perhaps you're already freaking out of money to buy the dip of 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 the dip. And I get that. But again, from the opposite side, just look back at the $3.60 XRP. If you then think where should I have bought recently? You would probably just point at this dip and think, you see, that would have been a really, really good opportunity. Because again, all the times it bounced off of that, and just the fact that it's $1.80 when it was just $3.40 a few months before that, relatively just so cheap. However, that puts me back on the spot. Right now, even though risk-reward-wise, things are nicer, I will remind you and warn you that nothing fundamentally has changed for the longer term. We're still bullish. However, just because we get one little slight sigh of relief does not mean all of a sudden the market is going to go crazy from here on forward. Now we're back in bullish territory. Not necessarily. And this is where a lot of people will usually go wrong, where they go a bit too crazy on a move like this. They're like, you know what? This is when the market turns around. And instead of buying the dip of the dip, they buy a slight worse dip, let's call it that, the price right here, and they end up messing everything up. Now, quickly, guys, if you're watching the stream right now and you've not pressed that like button yet, we've had about 200 people stopping by and saying hi, which is nice. But every single person, if you watch this right now, make sure you press that like button. We have 17 likes right now. This should instantly be at 50. I promised you guys every single day we'll do a stream. Every single day we'll talk about what's going on. And today we also have a special guest that's coming in a little bit to talk about the cryptocurrency market's prices and where we think prices are heading next based on analysis, which again can be very, very useful. And of course, I also, if you guys have a certain guest you're waiting for, you can always just let me know, because in the near future here, if I'm going to stream every single day, I think it's going to be significantly easier to get some cool people on. And also, maybe just quickly, I'm going to share the stream over on Twitter. Just quickly do that right here. We're live right now. There we go. Just quickly posting on Twitter that we are live in case some people on Twitter come check it out. We're live right now. Come check it out. There we go. There we go. All right, posted. And let me also change this. Just changing the title real quick. There we go. How do I change the title? Okay, some things are also new to me. Like, for example, changing the title of a stream. How does one do that? No idea. Here we go. All right, I figured it out. All right, should be good. Sorry, boys. Needed to quickly do that. Anyway, we got it now. We have 41 likes pressed. It's not the 50 we're looking for, but it's good enough. It will have to make do. So let's continue on with the story, y'alls. And it comes in the way of this. Right now, Bitcoin $86,000 with a dip being 80.5, so it's almost up 10% from that bottom. Ethereum went to what, 26, 20, maybe 25, no, I think 26 something, up 10% or so from the bottom, slightly lower, but you get it. XRP went to 181, I believe. So also up 10% or so from the bottom. Matter of fact, up 7.2% in a day. And here comes the kicker. Just yesterday, I made a video saying, hey, I'm buying XRP here at 181, Bitcoin at 81,000. A lot of people say, oh, that's stupid because you're catching a falling knife. And I keep saying, no. At some points, you are getting yourself too good a deal to let go. Are you 100% certain it's not going to fall through? No. But again, we're talking risk reward. And even if we get towards these prices, this is what I keep saying. The higher the price goes, the riskier it gets. Sure, if you get confirmations that the trend has turned around, it gets a bit easier. But we're not getting that with an 86K BTC. When do we really start thinking, oh, things are back in the green? Once XRP goes back above 255, for example, or Bitcoin goes back above like 103. Again, maybe my analysts will have a different opinion on this, but this is my thoughts. That anywhere below this, do prices look kind of ass, look a bit garbage. So again, what are we basing our buys on here? What are we basing our sentiments on? The idea that we can fall way lower, sure, but this is, again, a good area, in my opinion, to start accumulating. And again, even if you do not have your bags filled, you can see here, one of my XRP trades, for example, is still down a couple $100,000. And the whole account is also down, I think, a couple $100,000. Oh, we're not in the green just quite, but it's okay because we're accumulating as prices go down lower. Now, on this specific trade, I'm not actually accumulating much. It's actually different trades. It's just to prove to you that even though maybe we see a nice little bounce, the altcoin season is not back. We're not back in the full green. No, we're starting it out. And again, I showed you guys this video a few months ago. I actually wanted to post it on YouTube just yesterday. I might post it again today, though. So if you've already watched it, then probably there's no need. But I was going to post it yesterday on my YouTube channel again. And what is it about?
Hold the line! The crypto market is falling right now. Every single coin is dropping. My portfolio is in the red. No. Everything is going down. No. If this is you stressing out over your coins because they're falling down a little bit, but just the value of my coins is going down, you're literally... Whenever I see red in these markets, my fingers get freaking twitchy from the clicking, from the buying that I'm doing every single time this happens to the market. Every single time there is red, I get into the twitch mode, not because I'm scared, but because of the amount of buying these fingers have to deal with. Do you understand how many clicks I have to freaking do to buy like a maniac when it's multiple hours of red in a row? Especially when there's hundreds of millions or even billions of dollars worth of liquidations in the past 24 hours? I almost cannot keep up. Today, Bitcoin just saw a weekly low or something along those lines. But the funny thing is, I'm not even looking at what happened over the past couple of weeks. All I know is coin go down, I need to buy. And the funny thing is, I am not your financial advisor, but I still think that if you keep this up consistently, if you just shut up, throw the key away, don't stop, don't talk too much about all these things, you end up like a freaking winner. It is only when you start dialing in on the real short term, oh, we were actually a little bit higher last week, so shut up! Thus far in the crypto market, all you had to do, look at it for Bitcoin, look at it for whatever coin you really want to. If you had consistently bought, especially when the market was set for you, especially when the market, like right now, is an overall basically bull market, we say, right? If you had just consistently kept up, not given up, not sold the dips, but bought the dips, really start tracking it, start looking at this, you would have been greatly successful. It is only when you start commenting, I told you so, see, I knew it was gonna go down, I knew, where's your shorts, huh? Almost nobody's doing that. Most people are just like, I wish. But every single time the market goes up, you also wish that you had bought the bottom. So be a man for once. Remember, right, that every single time the market goes up, you keep thinking, damn, I should have bought that dip, because overall, the bull market's not finished. Most likely. Again, no guarantees are made here. But what is the probability that the moment you buy right now, we actually go to freaking zero? I mean, at the end of the day, wouldn't that be cool for your lore as well? You can look back saying, yo, I literally bought the day before it went to absolute zero, this whole Bitcoin thing. You know what? I think that's a risk I'm willing to take. With all these cryptos, matter of fact, I'm willing to take the risk that I buy the day that all of a sudden everything just breaks, because I don't think it's going to happen. And as long as that doesn't happen, oh boy, do I see the future of these coins looking juicy right now. So if you're asking, why is this happening? What are you doing? Are you afraid? No, I'm not afraid. I just told you 10 times. I am buying these dips every freaking day of the week. And the moment I am scared, you will not know, because I would never tell you. The only thing I do is cry in a little corner, get myself a little bit of strength, and still buy that freaking dip, because I ain't going against my principles. And those are, if there's a dip in a bull market, I buy it. If there's a dip in a bull market, I buy it. If there's a dip in a bull market, I buy it, because in the end, it turned out that was almost always a pretty good freaking idea. On the short term, I may hate myself. Matter of fact, I've got a corner right there. I put a cushion in the corner just in case the market goes down even more, and I gotta get a little crying session going. Matter of fact, I decided to grab the cushion here for a little second. Pillow, is what you guys might call it in America. And I've got myself a nice little trusted blanket here as well, so I can comfortably sit through these red times and not click that sell button. So again, it's possible. You're gonna see me like this for the next couple of days, especially if the market stays red. I might stay tucked up like this, but as you can see, because of the way I'm tucked up, my hands cannot reach that sell button. And I believe that very shortly, I will thank myself for this decision. Anyway, that was the end of the message. Not financial advice. I make no guarantees, but this is exactly what I'm doing right now.
That was a classic, in my opinion. I should post this one more often. So, point of the story here, if you're wondering, is really back then in July, you know how bad the market looked as well? You know how many people said this is where things started going back down, bull market ended, and back then we also had the confidence to sit through, and look at how high of a new high we made after that, huh? And here's the kicker. That is almost always the case. Whenever you are in your most panicked of states, usually it's not actually a good reason to be panicked. Why? Because I don't want to sound rude here, but the probability of you knowing that well when the market is in panic mode or in good mode is quite small, because even people who have been riding this, I'm talking 24/7 with a freaking $100 billion team, whatever, they probably don't know for sure either. So I always find it funny when somebody probably spends about 15 minutes, okay, let's say a half an hour a day, looking around the crypto market a bit, looking a bit on Twitter, has a really good idea of what's about to happen next. Nobody really knows for sure. All we can do is base it on either previous events, base it on certain emotions, which again, you can perhaps aggregate, or based on like things like let me quickly show you. Based on things like the news or certain events or how the price reacted to certain events previously, but just going along with sentiments, just looking at Twitter thinking, ooh, yeah, most people are negative and the price is going down, so it means we're going down even further. Where's the logic in that? I feel as if it's just people are oversimplifying how a market works, and they think, oh, just because it's going down a little bit and people say this is over, that means it is over. When in reality, it's mostly actually the opposite. When most people think it's going to go down, usually that's actually when we are not really going to go down too much, just like now in the market. You see, we had a relief rally, right? But everybody was saying it was going to be freaking falling to the freaking bottom straight away. And yet it didn't. And on that note, there was also, let's quickly see. I was going to say now. There was also, on that same note, so we talked about the fact that relief rally just came right now. Most people said it's going down, but it doesn't. It was about that. But basically that most people have no freaking idea what they're oh, yeah. And so also, when you break it down, the lower the prices go, the better of a deal you keep getting. For some reason, people are so brainwashed to think that the lower prices go, the more risky it gets rather than the opposite. Oh, I am muted? I don't... Test. I don't think so. I'm 95% sure because I see my mic moving. Just quickly checking out. Guys, can you hear me? Just double checking to make sure I'm not going to start a whole story. Audio good? Thanks, TJ. Appreciate that. So audio is good. Hey, by the way, we've got about 250 people watching. Where are you guys all watching this stream from today? Because again, I'm not so sure if you guys, like, this is good timing for y'all or bad timing. I'm thinking for like my Europeans or my fellow Middle Easterners, it might be really easy. Because I remembered, if I start the stream too early, like for example, 10 a.m. Dubai time, whole of America is going to be sleeping. I mean, some of you guys are maniacs watching me in the bathtub at 4:50 a.m. Let's see here. So somebody says that's me. Yeah, who's the earliest watcher right now? Like who we got? Like theoretically speaking, we should have somebody at like 6:40 a.m. Oh, we got 5:30 a.m. Bobby watches at 5:30 a.m. There we go. Little applause for Bobby being the most maniac person here. Who does that on a Saturday night, basically, right? You're watching that at 5 a.m. Brother, I wanna give it to you, man. Here's a little award of I don't know. What color skin do you have? Here's a piece of watermelon. There you go. No, I'm joking. Watermelon's good though. It's a Sunday morning at the moment. Now, Bobby, that's a joke. If you said you were really black, I was going to give you watermelon. But, Anyway, you were saying right there, it's a Sunday morning. Yeah, well, that's for you, my friend. But for most people, that's a Saturday night, all right? 5 a.m. Imagine Miami. The club is not even perfect yet, or not even good yet. People go at like 7 a.m. or something like that. So that's called a Saturday night, my friend. Anyway, it is realistically a Sunday morning. You are correct. All right. Let's see here. So what do we think of letting my analyst hop on and give his thoughts on the market, or most specifically about the charts? Because I can sit here talking for an hour about the idea that, well, most people are kind of stupid when it comes to these predictions. Most people have no freaking idea what they're talking about. They just think way too short term. I think let's let him hop on. Let me quickly see if he is ready. Should be good, I think. Do you guys remember? Yeah. Do you guys remember who we had? For all of you that were here a few months ago, we used to have him on stream quite a few times. Riding with Beats knows it. All right, he knows exactly who is the analyst Terminator again. Guys, welcome our man. They can hear you, boss.
Can everybody hear me well?
I
think I'm hearing.
Yeah, I can see you. All right, I can hear you well, perfectly well. Let me quickly get rid of my screen. And can I put yours on?
Just give it a minute.
All right. Just let me know. Yeah. So anyway, who we have in front of us here is again the main analyst, the king, the legend, one of the most profitable people that I've ever met in my life. And before I hop into his little thought experiment here, Let me quickly share the. Sneeze
I
there.
think you need to mute me. Testing.
Let me quickly mute you. There we go. Test. Yeah, you're muted. You're good. So I wanted to quickly share full screen layout. No, remove. Man, I have to get a bit used to this whole system of screen sharing. Let me just share it like this. Entire screen there. There we go. And there we go. I was going to say, one of the first links in the description down below, there's two parts. One is a Telegram link. Now, if you already have a Blowfin account, it is extremely simple to join the Telegram. If you don't yet, you can either use the link to Blowfin down below, or you can use that first link that shows the Telegram, and it'll basically lead you to a bot that will then lead you to like a little process. Now, what the thing is basically the way in which the Telegram works is you need to at least have yourself an account on here. So maybe some of y'all are confused about that. But there's also some nice bonuses right now for signing up. And, well, the Telegram, as you guys may have seen over the last couple of days, has got a lot of activity right now. It's getting more and more active. I'm liking it. And I told you before, we're going for max 100 people. Right now, we are slowly but surely filling up here with, again, some pretty good calls over the past couple of days. However, I will, again, admit that if the market all of a sudden, like this last week here, has been so crazy, it's probably going to be slightly worse. They've been really accurate thus far with a couple of missers, though. And actually, in the last month, there have not been many missers at all. But here there have been. Yesterday, they were still a bit short. And that's why I said before, whenever you're joining these things, I always recommend to just kind of look around, get comfortable over a little bit of time, see how the work process works, and never start with too much money, whatever type of trading you're doing, just so you don't mess yourself up. Anyway, I want to say Blowfin, link is down below. You guys can check that out if you want to. And once this guy is done, all right, I'm going to see here. Arnold, I turned your mic on again. I can turn you lower if you.
No, now it's all perfect. So hello, ladies and gentlemen. I know that was a long trip on the chopper from last time we were here. How's everybody doing? First and foremost.
Let me see here. Edit mic. So I'm put the mic up a little bit. There we go.
Yeah. No, it should be all good now.
All right. 5:43. All right. So we got. Wait. So just a quick little side note. Everybody's watching from a different time. We got 1:40 p.m. We got 8:40 a.m. Get down. I remember. Annie. Funny how people remember still, though, huh? Even though it's been a few months.
Is that Arnold? Of course, this is Arnold. Who else could it be, my friend?
Oh, my days. All right. Can I share your screen? Let's get to it.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Let's get to the serious part here first and foremost, because I remember last time we pulled up the XRP chart, it looked quite different. Of course, this was all, I think we were around 290 or something like this, and we were waiting to break the level just at D, so that would have been $3.18. I think we were here, and then things went south. We had the huge liquidation event, which was terrifying, obviously, but the positive thing was that it was basically just a huge wick. I'm using Binance, by the way, so it's not entirely accurate, because, for example, if you take Coinbase or whatever, it looks a little bit different, but it doesn't really matter for the analysis of today. Yeah, XRP. So I'm going to be real with you guys. It's been a bumpy ride, as most of you know, but I'm still optimistic. Would I say that the bull run is officially over, etc., etc.? No, absolutely not. I think you could call this, well, a phase. I wouldn't even call it a cycle, because a cycle is going to look a lot more aggressive than this sort of price action, because from the all-time high, from XRP, or from this high, let's call it just this high for now. What basically happened is that we have this channel, this gradual channel where we're going down. that's not a bearish cycle. It's really, to me, to me, of course, uh, it's just a phase, and a phase for me is a lot shorter and a lot less aggressive than just a whole cycle where we're going to see massive dumps in price, which we obviously saw with the, let's call it liquidation event for now, but some of you might call it differently, on the 10th of October. But the way we have been going down, it's gradual and it's still controlled. Yes, have we been going down like, well, let's just measure it for like 50%? Sure, but it doesn't really matter how much you go down. Well, of course, you don't want to go down 100%, but it's the way you go down, the characteristics of price action. And to me, it's still very, very controlled. So let's just continue where we are right now. We had the impulse here. Of course, we started here. And then immediately after this, because obviously after such a huge impulse, you need a correction to continue. So I think at the time, a lot of people thought, okay, we pulled back here and we're just going to continue down. No, the whole correction obviously took a lot more months and is a lot more complex now. So is the pattern. So in my opinion, I'm using Elliot waves mainly with some other hybrid techniques that I will go over with later with you guys, as we're going to stream more in the future, as Dusty said.
Matter of fact, every single day. I'm not sure
every
if you're going to be able to make it
single
every
day,
single day,
indeed.
but I'm going to be here for sure every single day. And just as a quick little intermediary piece, 8-second girl, as you're Dusty, what's East Asia and Pacific, bro? I swear, this Twitter update, so for all of you that do not know, there's a new update over on Twitter that shows your location. It doesn't make sense at all, fun fact, because it shows where I made my account, or where I signed up from, sort of, sure, but it's showing a random ass country in Asia that I visited. So even though I'm not there, and I've not been there in a while, it's showing a random East Asia and Pacific, bro. And again, I can be honest with you, because first of all, y'all know where I live, and second of all, I mean, I don't want to be that guy, but I don't look Indian. So, I mean, I'm not sure what East Asia and Pacific would be, but, at least we can be sure I'm not actually from India. And by the way, if you're wondering why that is, it's because a lot of people on Twitter right now are hiding their identities because, or at least people are finding out that really prominent American accounts, for example, are actually from a completely different country. But for me, I think you can kind of see, but, well, at least East Asia and Pacific it is. I don't know exactly why, maybe because I was there when this update thing was announced or something like that. But regardless, this is really annoying in the chat as well. There's like this little scam going on. You can see I keep banning these little accounts that talk about the seed thing. Don't trust it. I'll just keep banning them every single time. Yeah, go on with your analysis, please, boss. Is your mic muted or are you good?
Oh no, I'm good. Yeah, I just muted it for a second. All good to me.
All right, go on then. I said, go on, boss, with your analysis.
Sir, yes, sir. Yeah, where were we? So yeah, the whole correction pattern. To me, it looks still, because we are still in the channel, it looks to me like a more complicated A, B, C, D, E. To me, it's very clear that after the liquidation event on the 10th of October, again, I'm just going to call it like that for the time being, it's clear to me that E has finished. So everything that is happening now is basically, to me, a preparation phase to start the first bullish signs. And I'm calling it signs because it's gradual at this point. But basically, what's waiting for us here is still a gradual pullback. And I don't want to say, okay, from here onwards, guy, I don't want to be that hype guy and say, yeah, we're just going to go up and up and up and up and up. But there needs to be some counterbalance, because the way have been going down as well, that requires at least a decent side reaction. And preferably, and most logically, we're going to go back to the 200 EMA. And either from there, we're going to continue, or we could just go sideways a little bit and have some indecisive price action here, before we're gonna have an impulse either down or up. But guys, to sum it all up, there is no reason to like panic like crazy. And if you, and I wanted to take some time to zoom out also. I'll just do that in a little bit. But I still have my more safe buy confirmation level here. It's quite high at the moment, but to me, if you want to be 100%, well, no, 100% sure, if you want to stack most of the odds in your favor, then I would suggest, that's what I'm going to do on a personal note, is that I would only open bigger orders here. But still, it doesn't matter because on the long term, if you zoom out, it's all discount. And now we're at very discounted prices. We were probably not going to see for a long time once we go up. So you have to bring that into perspective as well. And now I would just like to take some time to zoom out for a little bit and actually just actually remove everything from the chart. Sometimes I like to do that as well to bring some clarity, because everybody's saying, yeah, we're going down, we're going to zero, you know, these doomers, let's call them doomers for now. If we saw what happened, we had a huge impulse here, you know, and what people expect, and I understand it as well, that price is just going to continue and we're just going to go to the moon and it's not going to go down. This is how every market works, the stock market, crypto, whatever. You have these cycles, and after an almost vertical launch, a vertical bullish impulse, price is always going to make a correction. Of course, the correction is more complex and deeper than we anticipated, but it's nothing to really panic about on the longer term, you know. Same story here. We had a huge impulse and then price is simply exhausted. Why? People take profits, and at one point the hype is simply going to be over for a moment, and people are either going to open shorts, going to take profit, etc. And that's what happens with every rally. So yes, we might be down, what was it, 50% almost? Yeah, sure. But you have to take things into perspective, because if you hear somebody screaming, oh, we're down 50%, you know, it sounds catastrophic. But why are we down 50%? Well, because we made a huge move upward. And I think to understand this is important for yourself, and also, of course, in the future, to understand that it's simply a normal characteristics of every market. When people say the word bearish and stuff, it has a whole different meaning for a lot of people, you know. So this panic selling, you know, you're down 10%. Oh my God, everything is going to zero. It's human. It's normal. It's a normal reaction to most people. But to control these emotions, you have to take things from a different perspective, and that is what I'm trying to do with you guys. Is that this is not something very odd. Of course, even if you're down 50%, it's not odd because of the things I just mentioned. So that's XRP for now. Let me just take the chart back. Let's dive to Bitcoin, will we? So again, we have some type of reaction here, but that's normal because we are at a major support zone here, which actually facilitated the last pump, which gave us around 66%. So it's only logical that we're going to have also quite a response here. And in my analyses, I was talking about this as well, that we're going to have a decent reaction. And again, I expect price to also pull more closer to the 200 EMA. Does that mean that this is going to be, you know, the lowest level we're going to, before we're going to see like big bullish action? I cannot say that. But all that I do know is that we're going to have a big counterbalance, because we have a falling knife basically here, which is a vertical bearish price action. You know, I was talking about the vertical bullish price action that needs a correction. And this is the same what's going to happen here. Price cannot continue to dump like this. It's going to be exhausted at this point. So the panic is going to cease. People are going to be more optimistic. etc., etc. So that's why there's going to be at least a decent counter reaction here, which I would say I won't be surprised if price is going to go back into the 98K, 97K towards that price action. But on the long term, where are we now? So if we take into account the entire Bitcoin chart right here, again, let's zoom out, remove everything from the chart, clear up our mind. Where are we now? Well, we had a huge impulse correction, huge impulse correction. So logically speaking, again, this doesn't mean that we're simply going to continue up, because we know you can go down a little bit more, but we're at least going to see a decent reaction in this zone, because this is a massive support zone which facilitated that 66% gain. But to put into perspective, people might ask me or might wonder right now, so how do you read price? Well, I'm using Elliot wave as well. And there's two scenarios for Bitcoin right here, because I want to be completely transparent with you guys. First scenario is that this was the latest. Just give me 1 second. Jay, just a minute. 1 second, guys.
I'll remove him for a second. I guess he's got something to do. So, having said that, let me also quickly, get rid of his screen right here. Let me go over and show y'all's mine. All right. Jane in the chat, I just made you moderator, so maybe you can help out whenever those freaking annoying people come come on over again and spam that little thing that they're spamming. Mr. Chopper, Constant Chopper. Yeah, I'm not exactly 100% sure what happened right there. At least we got Jane in there. All right, helping us out with the chat. All right, let me quickly see how I add my screen again. Share screen. This is still something I gotta figure out, but piece by piece we'll get there, right? And also, shameless little plug right here. If you're not done it yet and you want to trade crypto, check out the first link down below. 𝗕𝗓𝗪𝗏 says, bro, are you still using bots? Brother, look me in my eye. I've lost so much. Because reality, let me put a few things out there. Are bots some of the most amazing things I've ever found? Yes. Does it require good, proper management? Oh my days, yes. So for all of you wondering, trading bots, basically I found out about them a few years ago, and in reality, depending on the platform, they can make your life so much easier because they can automatically buy the dip. However, if you do, for example, a spot bot, so that you don't actually use any leverage, it's very, very hard to outperform that with traditional DCA. Bots are the best thing you'll probably ever do. That's one. Second of all, if you use low leverage or a BTC or an ETH, a very, very strong pair that doesn't actually go for many major crashes, it should be easy. Or third is if you, for example, have whatever amount of money you have and you use the bot only to that ability, with the money you have plus maybe a slight bit of leverage over the total balance, probably you're also okay. Where do bots get kind of risky? When, just like now with the long positions, you over leverage or you go on too many very volatile things. What we saw the 10th of the 10th is we saw a crash on some altcoins of 99.9% or something of a similar packet, right? Just something absolutely ridiculous like Atom went to 0.01. If you did not add enough margin for that bot to sustain basically the price going to zero, it's the same for a long position, you would have gotten wrecked. And so for me, I basically had enough money in my account. Okay, so let's put some numbers in there. I had maybe only, I don't know exactly, but let's just say, I don't know the numbers, so I'm not 100% sure on this. I don't want to actually put up something that I'm not so confident in. But let's just say that I could have saved myself a few $1,000,000 had I just put the money from earn in bots. Why? Just for my main bots that you saw here. I think the main bots, just the main bots you see every day, I think I lost maybe a few $1,000,000. Maybe, I'm not so sure exactly how much was in this main account thing, but I think maybe let's say we lost a few. Could they've all been saved? Yes. All I had to do was just add margin. But again, you expect the market to crash at maximum, in my book, 50% overnight. This is just always an estimation of how far my liquidation should be, so the rest can always earn me yield. Now, so fun fact also, I can see, of course, people signing up as well, right? So I can see sometimes how much they're putting in. Fun fact, my loss is basically as high as every single other person that lost something on that day that at least are in our team. So basically we're equals, and that's a lot of people. So that's kind of funny. So no, the bots definitely are not my favorite thing to look at, but in reality, it's just user error. When you really start breaking it down, it's just a personal mistake. And when I look back on it, and it's a few really, you could just look back at some of the old videos, for example. It's kind of interesting. If I look back on it, it would have been so easy to save. And matter of fact, some of my bots are still okay. I think I still at least have maybe, let's see the main account here. Let's see for fun. Let's open them up here. Also, somebody here right now in the chat is saying he doesn't need to be posting videos. He got the money, but he doing it to help people. 50-50. All right, YouTube definitely does not earn any money. Real talk, I'm man to man. This is for the small little people looking here. You know how much YouTube earned in November? It's $500. So I'm just looking through for like the videos and everything what it earned. It's $500. Now, if you think that is what you're waking up for every day making videos for, maybe for you it is, but for me that's obviously not going to push the needle anywhere, right? So that's definitely not it. But it's also not only helping people. Partially, and I realized this because I've been making videos since 2010, right? But then different videos. It's because I've got a passion for making these content, these pieces, and I really love it. Even if no person were watching it, and I'm not helping anybody, I'd probably still make the videos just because it's what I've always done. Think about it. You've been doing something for 16 years every single day. It used to be your biggest passion. It just makes sense for you to continue on with that. You know, I've had many views, maybe 200,000 a day. I've had 1,000 views a day, and you just keep up with it. Even if you're not really helping anybody, it's just my thing, I'm going to call it. Anyway, regardless, I wanted to quickly show y'all this. So I still apparently, and I don't really look at it so much right now, but I still actually have a few running here. Let's quickly break it down. So if we're taking a look at it, I still have a few of the bots open and running. We have an XRP bot here with about 50 𝗲 inside. We got some main bots here. Let's take a look at what we got over here. We got an ETH and a BTC bot as well, still running up. They're down tremendously, sure, but the nice thing is they're buying on the way down, right? So right now you can see this bot has a 34.2 ETH long that, of course, as the price goes up, will actually be selling again. And so if you look at transactions, it's already been selling pretty good throughout the past day or so because of the volatility. And that's the nice thing about these bots. If I were to just, like some of my best friends, have mainly a BTC bot, mainly an ETH bot, it would have been so easy to just save it and keep it on. But it's when you start diversifying into all these different things and you don't have enough money to add for margin, depending on how big your bots are. Remember, this is a 150K bot, right? This is a 250K bot. If the price goes to the bottom of your range, in this case here, 85,000, it opens, in this case here, 200,000 and a bit. Right, let's just say $200,000 worth of a position. So you got to remember that. It's not just 50K. No, it's the full 250K, depending on where in the range you are. And the same thing applies. By the way, Bitcoin 87,000. We're going here. Somebody says, you're paid by sponsors and XRP pays you direct to show that shitcoin. I've never been in contact in my life with Ripple. I've never been paid a single XRP by XRP people in my life. Never a single. And sponsors, really, look at the channel. Do you see more than one sponsor a month or something like that? I don't think so. So just a little side note of that. I think I could get a lot of sponsors, but I don't reply to emails. I don't reply to most. Maybe you get a few emails a day. I don't actually. But could. That could pay for things if I wanted to. It could. But in the end of the day, it's, again, not that much, and it is work. And I kind of see all this YouTube stuff as just fun, not really work. And the more you start doing those things, it becomes more like work. Regardless, this is, again, another one where you got this ETH coin margin position. You can see we're down. I only put 8 ETH in. How am I down 13 or 14 ETH on that, right? Well, because in dollar terms, again, you got to remember, it's 35,000 times 5, or 8 ETH times 5, so 40 ETH. And that's basically what the full position could be. However, a little counter could be that because it's coin margined, this can actually be kind of like infinite how much this could be down. It's kind of annoying because it's double, right? That's why if I wanted to add even more margin now, let's say I add $1 million. You see, we'll still have a liquidation. Yeah, there we go. 371 because of that double sword there. You can see. Oh, can you see here? Here you can see as well. Even if I add 100 ETH, it will still have a liquidation right there. But that's because it's coin margin. And out of most of them, only a few are left. But again, that's my own proper mismanagement. Again, I was just too slow, not paying attention, and I didn't expect the market to crash so much. And remember, guys, this is also 6 a.m. But yeah, my opinion, bots still are some of the most amazing stuff I've ever found. It's just you need to properly manage them and not get overwhelmed by the amount you have. Or if you are, then make sure you at least add, like here. For example, this is just because I got lazy. But you can see I only put 50K into this bot, and I put $200,000 into margin just so it never gets liquidated. Now, obviously, I can withdraw a pretty good amount of this, even if I take out 50,000, for example. The liquidation price is 33 cents. However, this is where things get scary again, right? Because you keep thinking, like, how low could the price go? XRP will probably never go below, like, $1.20 again, right? But then maybe overnight, Binance all of a sudden crashes and and XP goes to 82 cents. I lose myself a couple $100,000 just on that move. That's what happened on the 10th of the 10th. So the bot's good? Yes. Was it a manual error? For sure. Oh yeah, by the way, talking about that whole Twitter situation from earlier, this was so funny to me. So a little bit earlier, somebody asked, like, what's going on with my region? Right? A while back, somebody asked. And then I saw Martini guy's post about region saying about this account, that Martini guy, account based in Nigeria, and he said, they finally figured me out. And then he posted this picture. Oh, sorry, guys. I don't know. I knew Martini guy was an interesting guy, but I never knew he had that freaking dog in him to post my family members like this, you know? I don't know. Maybe you guys can't see the fun of that, but I can. Because again, the same if you were to, pose as an Indian or something like that, Nigerian Indian, it's kind of what always people consider to be scammers. Obviously not always true, but it's what people often like to make jokes about. And so to me, this is so freaking funny. So humorous, so creative. I liked it, I can have a little bit of fun here and there. Also, there was some interesting things going on with Sailor. By the way, if you're wondering, this is just because I really wanted to use the GIF. Do you guys say GIF or GIF? GIF. I'm going to say GIF. Bitcoin days are numbered. It seems like just a matter of time before it suffers the same fate as online gambling. Now, again, it's pretty crazy to me that this guy was already bullish in 2013. I forgot all about that. You may look at this and think, oh, that's bearish, right? It seems the same fate. Again, we all know that online gambling ain't going nowhere. It will only get bigger. This is like 15 years or 12 years ago. But damn, this guy was on it all the way back then. Huh? I thought he actually came a bit later. But I guess he just started some products a bit later. I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, let's quickly take a look at how the FOMC or interest rate data is looking here. Let's quickly take a look. Still at 71%, so that has not shifted. Okay. Yeah, we talked about the fear ingredients already today. Nothing too crazy in terms of liquidations. I guess, interestingly enough, short liquidations are significantly higher than long liquidations today. But the number is like nothing in comparison to the 2 billion that we saw. And I'm seeing more pings and pings on my freaking phone. We are breaking through. Okay, so we've gotten down again. Maybe some of these have a delay. Let's see here. How many hundreds of thousands of dollars are our trades down now? Still the same. I think, yeah, we're still down now. We're exactly 200K on this account. Not too bad. Could be worse. And I'm mostly actually buying by bit here. It's just because I've got more money on there, so it's a bit easier. Here, if you look at the account, it's still got a liquidation, right? So I'm going to have to move more money into this to salvage it. But if you already have a lot of money in your account so that your positions can't get wrecked or at least are very low with liquidation anyway, it's a bit easier to purchase. Still, all of my positions, except for XRP, are down on Bybit as well. Every single one of them. The only one with an average price now, after some wiggly moves, of $1.99 is XRP. My average price for BTC still, 100,000. But it's down so much that I kind of don't want to touch it. But even at these prices, still, if I buy more BTC, fun fact, I'm going to try it now. I'm still moving my average price down, right? Because we're still significantly below. But it feels kind of bad to be buying at these spots when I could have also bought at $81,000 just now. And because, like I said at the start of the stream, just because we're doing good right now doesn't necessarily mean we're going to just bounce back up from here. Look at this. Like we have let me cook it. Let me quickly cook here. Let me find this. Where is that thing? Did I like it or did I bookmark it? All right. Give me 10 seconds to find. Man, my brain is like half internet, half normal. I found it. This is like where we're at right now. Alex said sideliners are screwed. And the 𝗕𝗏 said, "This is you." And it's like permanently down. One little freaking uptick of like 10%. And we're like, "Ah, what happened?" But in reality, it's good, but it ain't that good. All right. And also, Jane, you see in the chat right now, you see this Victor guy posting about, did you sell crypto wallets on the blah, blah, blah? If you could ban those guys, that would also be amazing. You know exactly which one I'm talking about, right? Because again, otherwise I have to keep stopping the stream and looking back at it. And I'll be looking for some more solid moderators. I mean, some of the guys, you come in here every single time I stream, like 𝗕𝗏𝘀𝗀𝗃, normally 𝗕𝗏𝗀𝗃 is always in there. Some of y'all also remember, I have to scroll up again. If you're not talking in just a second, I might not remember you for right now. But a lot of y'all just come in every single day. But still, it feels kind of strange to trust people with this moderator thing. Like Bobby's almost here every single time. Who do I really remember vividly for being here always? Stevie today was the freaking first of the first, but I'm not sure if you're still watching. Beads, yep, remember. Did they rate Mr. Terminator? He ghosted. Brothers and sisters, the Terminator guy, I don't know, to be honest. I don't know exactly what's happening with him. I think he should be fine. Maybe he's already back. Who knows, right? Maybe he got raided indeed. Let's see here. Let's put him on. Let's see what happens. Let's see. You back? Test.
Is my mic on? Test.
I mean, why would your mic? Yeah, your mic is on. Yes.
All right, perfect. Yeah, that was a
Got
bit of
raided by the
a.
police.
Yeah.
Ah, get to the chopper.
They refilled my position. No,
It's because of the Twitter thing, huh? They doxed you. They're coming for you.
no.
I
I'm
get it.
actually remember when people thought I was AI. So
That was the
maybe.
first time, I think.
Yeah,
Anyway,
so
where are your analysis? Were you finished, or you still had something to cook?
yeah, I had something to cook here and there. Yeah.
Let me add you to the stage then. There we go. All right.
All right. So Bitcoin. Just wanted to. I'm just gonna do it a little bit quicker. Because I want to take my time to get into the essential stuff later on, but just to explain a core concept, and it can also reveal where we are going in regards to Bitcoin. As I said, we're now in a major support zone, so we're gonna have a reaction. And as Dusty also correctly said, we're gonna have a reaction, a major one, because price has just been dumping like crazy, and there needs to be some counterweight to it, logically speaking, for many different reasons why. I'm not going to go over many of them, but one of them is the simple fact that there was a lot of panic. And when panic ceases, or it gets less, or people have more trust, then, of course, more people start buying. It's just one of many essential reasons why we're going to start going back up. Is that going to mean that we're going to go up right here? Well, I'm going to explain to you the two scenarios that I see happening. First thing that you need to know about Elliott wave, because I'm going to explain it through the use of Elliott wave theory, is that to just basically give a very fast course. But Elliott wave has 5 waves. 2 are corrective, and 2 or 3 are impulsive. So you have wave 1, you have correction 2, that's wave 2. Then the most impulsive wave is always wave 3. And there is some methods how to calculate how big is wave 3, but we'll get to that later, which is always the bigger wave, which has subwaves as well. And then wave 4 is again the correction. And then the final wave is wave 5. So just to show it on the chart like this. And this can be one wave. So if you zoom out on the daily perspective, on the 4-hour perspective, it depends if this is like a primary wave or a subwave. Meaning that, for example, one wave can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But this can be on the 4-hour like this. But on the daily chart, this can just be wave 1. So that's the basics. So after the 5 waves, you always get this correction. And this correction is always, it can be ABC, ABCD. There's many different correction patterns. It's a bit subjective as well, how people see it from time to time. But a lot of times, if you see through it, then, it can get you good results. So then you have the correction, which usually looks like this or whatever. And then we can go up. And then what do I mean with the subwaves, etc.? For example, if this is a correction, then this is, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C. But in reality, this whole sequence of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is actually one wave on a higher time frame. And then we continue upwards. So in regards to that, where are we now? Well, we had the final wave to my calculations. So we have the A, the B, and the C. And wave C, the bearish correction, also has a sequence of 5 waves. So to actually, I'm actually going to invert the scale to make it look bullish. But again, I inverted it to make it visually more attractive, at least to me. So how would you see this in many ways? But let's start with the first perspective. So you could say, okay, B is finished. Now we're going to finish C. So it's a 5-wave sequence. You could say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's one way to look at it. What's important to note is that wave 3 is most of the time, it's going to be either from the Fibonacci 1.618 or higher. So if we check, okay, what level could 3 potentially be finished? Well, so if you could see it right, just the blue color is not very bright. But as you can see here, it started pulling back at exactly this level, which shows me that there is a very high chance that this is indeed wave 3. Because you could see from this onward, this is all just like up, 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 up. Again, it's inverted, guys. So I could just change it back again. So we have actually been going down, unfortunately. So what can happen? 2 scenarios. Either we pull back, like I say, at least to the 200 EMA, and then we're actually going to finish it by going down again. In this case, up. But of course, actually, let's just keep it like this. So we could make the pullback to 4. And then we could finish it by going even deeper. That's possibility number 1. I want to be real with you guys here. Possibility number 2 is a little bit different because wave 3 can also finish earlier. So technically speaking, we could have also already finished wave 3 over here, which is like a shortened wave 3 with a shortened correction wave 4. And the last impulse would be 5. So there's 2 possibilities here. If we're finished here, that's great because it means that we're going to go up even higher. But if not, then I would see price go up. A lot of people are going to be happy, and then we're still going to go down that one wave. So that is basically how I see Bitcoin at this moment. So guys, if you have any questions, please ask them in the chat. I'm actually going to read over them right now. Micro, are we in wave 4, you think? Dirk, in what sense? On what chart were you talking about? Are we in wave 4? I think you mean like if this is wave 3, 4. Like, is this wave 4? Well, as I said, it depends. And we're going to see how this plays out. But that's basically the 2 scenarios that we have right now. But
a little side note. I see Alcoholic is back in the chat. You were gone for a little bit. Oh, all good. Hey, out of all you guys watching right now, how many of y'all are holding XRP? Because somebody says, XRP army, what? Is it mostly, again, the XRP peoples here today, or is it just different people? If you're a maximalist, like if you have a favorite coin, which one would it be? We see XRP. This Toby guy is talking about overlay USBCOI macro indicator. Brother, USB coin macro indicator. This is what he's using. Hello, Mr. Terminator. Could we go to 50 EMA and then dump like last cycle? On which currency is he talking about? Could we go to 50 EMA and then dump like last cycle? Michael says the only one with clarity. Lots. Oh, you mean regulatory clarity, huh? Hopium says Monday we back to it's over. You never trust a Sunday pump, right? This is what they have told us for years. You never trust a Sunday pump. And again, the reason that's so accurate is because when you start breaking it down, Sunday is the best day of the week. Well, at least for our coins thus far. I told y'all just a second ago or a little bit ago that indeed Sunday, green, if we're talking about here 3M average returns by day. It is freaking Sunday, all right? So I don't want to be that guy, but I do want you to realize that that just because it's green today does not mean it has to be green tomorrow. It's just, unfortunately, it ain't necessarily a one-to-one. Now you got to keep that in the back of your head. Obviously. Could be, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. Yeah, let's see here. Sorry, Dusty. Bitcoin touched 50 and then we went down. Can you open up is it the Bitcoin? I can't see it. Is it the Bitcoin chart you've got right now?
Oh yeah, that's that Bitcoin. I think he asked something before. Hello, Terminator. Could we go to the 50 EMA and then dump like last second? Well, that's actually what I've been saying right now, because as I showed before, the way we're going up from this moment, it's exactly at 161.8, which is usually well, the size of wave 3, meaning that as the whole sequence has 5 waves, as you can see here. I don't know why it's blue, so put it a different color. Yeah, that's a bit better. So that's what's scary for the time being. So yeah,
did you just adjust the color?
Yes. You didn't
I
know
can see where the professionals are at. I can see where the this color is not my usual yellowy hue. I appreciate you, man. I knew this is why I'm a freaking quant, man. This is why he's the best, guys. Imagine out of all these little lines, changing one specific color because it's not the one it usually is, and he remembers that. That is, I appreciate that, man. Just a little clap for you. All right, go on. Sorry.
So yeah, to come back to your question, I think it's a very real scenario that we're gonna go, because I just added the 50 EMA for you here. Double check yeah. So yeah, it's very possible that wave 4 could finish at the 50 EMA, and then unfortunately, even with this, there is a split thing that could happen, because when there's a lot of bullish sentiment in the market, something can be created, as we call it with Elliott wave theory, is a filled 5, meaning that usually 5 always has to finish below 3. So technically speaking, 5 can only be finished anywhere, can be 1 pip below 3, sure. But when market is really in this case, a bullish sentiment, what can happen is that we're actually going to see price fall, yeah, and then actually never cross 3, stop here and start pumping from this moment onward. That's what we call a filled 5, which is also a scenario that could happen. So if this is true, that this is wave 3, we go back to wave 4 to finish that, and then we're going to finish wave 5. So there's 2 things: either we go down more, or we're going to have this filled 5, and then we're going to actually see more bullish scenario. And for some people, you could call this like a filled 5 wave or whatever. Other people call this like a double bottom. You know, there's multiple ways how to phrase it, basically, but there is some logic behind it, you know, because you can have many double bottoms. But if you put it into perspective, in my humble opinion, with Elliott wave, then it can make a whole lot more sense. So I hope that answers your question. So yes, any other questions from you guys? Please feel free to ask them.
And if you've not done it yet, make sure you go ahead and press the like button on the stream.
Yes,
Why?
please.
Well, because we've had 2,000 people stop by and say hi over the past hour, which is nice. But we've only got 113 likes pressed, matter of fact. If everybody watching this right now presses that button, we could instantly be at like at least 150, which would be nice. It doesn't give us any money or anything like that, but it just helps the stream hopefully perform a little bit better. TJ just said, Arnie is a good man. He's a good man. Yes.
Thank you very much indeed. So yeah, guys, if we get
how to beat... Jeffrey says, I just figured out how to be a technical analyst. You say it could either go up or down. And here's the funny thing. A lot of people say that. But in reality, it's a bit, I'm going to say more nuanced than that. Because in reality, any market can go up and can go down, right? But it's about probability. What is the probability of some certain event happening that cascades into yet another event? And again, based on the probability of certain events or because of past, let's call it history here, you make certain trade choices. It is obviously always going to be true if you say it could go up or down, but where do you have your bias? Where do you think the edge could lay? And even somebody that's literally done this for 60 years, maybe he spent his whole life there, cannot accurately, unless he controls the entire market, which in a big market here cannot really be done. But let's just say he can never be 100% sure of something unless he has the quote-unquote insider. Again, you can base it on probability. Some things are very highly likely, but never sure.
Yeah. So
And
exactly what Dusty is saying. And the thing is as well, if there's people who claim to really have a 100% accurate strategy, or some strategy that never fails, and it's always the magic potion they have to see where price is going, well, 99.99% of the chance, well, they're full of shit. It's very easy, there's this 0.01% that this person is divine and not real, but
divine, huh?
yeah, but don't get your chances, don't get your hopes up, I would say. So how
This
many likes
person
do we
is
have now,
divine.
Dusty?
131.
131. Well, if we get to 150, I don't like to do it, but I can change into Arnold again,
Somebody says, Dusty, we need to bring back old school Pump It Up. Have you heard the
Pump
Pump
It
It
Up.
Up song? Have you
Don't
played when you were
know,
here?
pump it up.
Yeah,
Don't
you got to pump it up. Don't you know? Pump it up. You got to be honest, that is my #1 favorite song when it comes to streaming. The song itself is like the worst because for some reason, YouTube does not only block revenue, which is okay. A stream does not really earn money anyway, but they block it region-wide. So the stream afterwards cannot be seen by many freaking countries anymore, which is the problem there. And so, pump it. We should make somebody saying, Riding with Beats says, do a remix, Dusty X Terminator. I really love how they
Pump it up. You got to pump it up.
My days.
You got to pump up the numbers.
We got to put the number. Yeah. I mean, he would probably say it in a strange way as well, huh? I'm looking through. Also, we got some major events coming up here that I actually did not cover before. So, next week, coming up, PPI inflation, jobless claims, PCE data, markets closed because of Thanksgiving, and an early close this Friday. Neither of which I am necessarily too interested in. I'd say my major events start with interest rate coming the 10th of December.
Yeah, that's going to be
Any other events
massive.
you're watching for? Say it again.
That's going to be massive. Massive for all markets, basically. Yes, I don't know if you guys checked out the stock market. Well, damn.
Let's see here. Next earnings for NVIDIA is all the way in end of February, so we're okay with that one. Got about 3 months of peace.
NVIDIA basically saved the whole market. I don't know if a lot of people are also into stocks and stuff, but if NVIDIA delivered like quite bad earnings and revenue, things would have gone very, 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 very south for the global market. But it's actually crazy to think that one company is basically carrying the whole market. That's just ridiculous, actually, if you think about it. But that's how big the tech market is right now, and how big the hopes are on the, the whole AI revolution, you could call it. Some might compare it to the industrial revolution, but I'm a bit skeptical. But I understand why some people would look at it like that. But yeah. But at the same time, what can I say? I'm actually AI as well. I'm not real, as some of you claimed in the comments before during the live streams. But,
I mean, it could, right? If I were to really be a freaking proper one, there's a way to make it happen, probably, right? At least to some degree. At least think my skills are pretty freaking high to get you up to or yours as the quant, or mine to basically not do the TA myself, but have an AI version say it in video form. Like, exactly. I don't know if they thought I was cool or you were cool. I don't know. But that's a lot of effort.
Interesting. Arnold, I think there is more to it than just NVIDIA carrying the market. Yeah, definitely. But it's right now, it's not just, well, I would say more, I would say it's like more the tech market. But NVIDIA's earnings were so crucial because anybody with any different stocks, even healthcare stocks, whatever, we understand that there were real big fears of an AI bubble breakout. And if we already went down significantly, while NVIDIA actually, revealed that they have very positive numbers, and we already went down like 25% after whatever, some things. S&P went down how much?
In a day? Or what are you talking about?
I don't know, after like the... NVIDIA earnings were when?
Let me see.
20th, right? Or 19th?
19.
Yeah, so it's like ever since that happened, we're already down like 3.5% on the S&P. On like AMD and other stocks, it's like even bigger. But yeah, just imagine if they, had very different numbers to reveal to us. Jerome Powell is AI. The man has zero. Yeah, Jerome Powell is he's a character. He's quite the character indeed. I cannot wait for the first American AI president. Well, I think by then we're already ran by robots, or robotic beings, or whatever. So I don't think we're ever gonna have an American AI president while humanity is still alive.
Never say never.
I'll never say never, but
You know what? Still, the number one funniest video I've ever seen in my life probably is that video with Jerome Powell and Trump, where it's like, "Yeah, it's 3.2 billion, whatever." I don't know number. 3.2 billion. He's like, "Oh,"
and he just corrected him.
No, it just came out. Just came out.
That was a beautiful one indeed.
Yeah. See, that's why Trump has so many freaking funny videos. I don't know how he does it, but it seems like, even though again, what he does for the country is your own interpretation, but that guy is a creator first. He knows how to entertain the masses, man. I don't know. I feel like he knows what to do. Regardless, market. Do we have anything else that's interesting coming up?
Annie is Dutch. I smoke Amsterdam.
Is there anything else interesting coming up?
From Austria.
Is there anything else you're looking for in terms of numbers that you're going to be watching for? Because you just covered a few. I'm also not sure if there's anything else.
Well. I think for now, the thing that we really have to focus on is just, is there going to be another rate cut? I think that it's just the primary thing to look at right now. Or maybe tomorrow there's going to be some, new fears of like the supercomputer.
Quantum computing.
Yeah. But I don't
think for Bitcoin or cryptos that's too big an issue, even though people like to make it one. Because I think they'll just update, they'll just fork out of it. But all right, lads. If you don't got any more analysis for right now, then I think we're gonna end the stream for here today. Just get back to it probably tomorrow somewhere. Because again, the promise was to stream every single day. So we'll be back yet again tomorrow with yet another stream. I will, however, remind y'all just really, really briefly here. If you've not done it yet, make sure you press the like button. Because why not? You've got nothing to lose. I'm not showing anything here. I'm just saying make sure you press that like button. And also, as a side note, if you're looking for a platform to trade on, you can find the link down below. Let me just quickly again share my screen here. Where is it? Here we go. You can find the link down below, either to my Telegram or to this link right here. The Telegram, if you join it, it will give you like a message saying, "Hey, you need to make an account, blah, blah, blah." Just go through the steps. A couple of people in there right now. Only spots for 100 people, so make sure you do it fast if you want to join. It's completely free, doesn't cost you a single cent, obviously, but you need to have an account over on Blowfin, which again is completely free, and right now you get some nice bonuses for trading. You can check it out, link is down below there. And again, if you're looking at all the analysis, some of the signals, which again is a different than our Mr. Arnold here. Arnold will probably start soon as well, sharing some nice thoughts in there.
Yes, indeed.
Sure
I just wanted to, before you guys go, sorry, Dusty, what I wanted to say is that we're working very hard to deliver something very interesting for you guys, and that's actually going to be a part trading in the live streams. So to be completely transparent, you can just copy them one-to-one if you want, of course. And yeah, it's going to be very big, and that's something I want to give away to you guys as well. I'm not going to charge anything for it at this point, so you guys could just copy it if that's interesting for you. Of course, what I would always say, even to be playing against myself here, always look how somebody trading. Is he actually profitable? What is he doing? Always check that out first. You might trust me, you might not trust me. Always check somebody out first, But that's basically what we're planning to do. And I think it can be very massive for you guys and other people who were not here, maybe listening it in hindsight. So that is something that we are planning indeed.
Yeah, long story short, he's just saying he's going to actually be sharing some of the trades he's doing and, well, potentially give some nice thoughts behind it. Because a lot of you guys are saying, well, it's nice analysis and all, but where are the actual trades? Because they're being placed but never showcased. And so I thought, you know what, even though it's not something we really necessarily like to do, when one of the analysts came out a while back and said, hey, let me actually put up some of the trades we're taking in the Telegram, I also went to the best quant I know and said to him, man, can't we actually do some more showcases of trades and videos, even though it's not something we really like to share? He said, well, we could probably do that at least, at least for a while every single day. So very, very shortly here in these streams, if we can get this set up properly, we'll also be sharing some live trades that we are doing at the exact same time. And again, what he's saying is you could take them if you wanted to. Again, I'm not your financial advisor, neither is he. It's just showcasing whatever is really going on in the background because the trades really are being taken. And at the end of the day, it has been doing pretty freaking well. And I think why not share it if we can? Again, it's just it's an interesting game, the game of trading. It's one thing to put a setup out there, and it's a whole nother to actually trade all the freaking time because it might not be as entertaining, but it's going to be really, really interesting. Coming up soon, so stick around for that. And yeah, like I said, link down below if you're looking for a platform to trade. The one we use for the most part is Blowfin. Link is down there. And I'll see you guys again in other crypto streams somewhere, hopefully tomorrow. I'm positive we're going to stream tomorrow, so yeah.
Yes, indeed. All right. Dusty?
All right, lads.
The chopper is waiting for us.